You didn't know what he mean by that?
No, no. In hindsight, no one would have just like like that use of intimidation probably is like the last resort of like if I really want to scare someone, you drop something like that. It's a famous line in the original Roadhouse. One of the guys says, "I used to fuck guys like you in prison." It's the part in Snowfall when he's like, he ain't beating him up in there. That ain't why he's screaming. He doing something else. Like that's the last use of like intimidation where like you really want to show I ain't fucking with you. Like I'm gonna do this.
No, don't do that to me, bro. Just shoot me.
Yeah, no, I'm always like, yeah, just like Matt Damon in The Departed. Just shoot me. Just kill me when he knows he's gonna get taken to jail. Like just I can't handle jail. Just fucking kill me.
You don't do anything grotesque like that to me. You still got to look at your kids. If you got kids, you got to look at your family. If you got a family, where were you last night? In the
Yeah, but no.
hospital.
That's why it was so great re-listening to the Patrice
That was an
O'Neill
accident.
opening. No, it's all right. But no, it's about to be used in a good way because the Patrice O'Neill opening Anthony when they talk about Pulp Fiction and like Marcellus killed those guys that he sent over to kill the rednecks that raped him because like you mean they did what to you? Oh, what like, and he's just supposed to let those guys live after like they help him. Like, come on.
No, I'm going after their moms, they whole entire family after something like that.
Yeah,
I got to get everybody. Nobody can ever tell what happened. Nobody got
that's
to
why.
know this.
That's why it's I think it's in Mulan when he's like, "I'm gonna hit you so hard, your ancestors are gonna feel it." Like,
That's hilarious. I'm at the LA Zoo right now. We got
LA,
crackheads,
LA is a
diabetics.
zoo,
LA is that might be title
especially if you
number one
watch,
already.
Jackpot.
So
Did you?
first topic already? No, I haven't had a chance. I'm on 1 hour of sleep, brother. I haven't done anything.
So Jackpot is the latest John Cena movie in which he signed on with not giving a fuck about the script. So first of all, we haven't even done introductions. This is Banks versus Davis. He's Banks. I'm Davis. As you already know, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. But what did Beyonce say? America has a problem. John Cena, you have a problem. It's called Your Agents. Because this movie, I've seen YouTube videos that look better than this. Like people on YouTube who want to be directors have made better shit than this, and I've written better shit than this. This takes place in a futuristic Los Angeles, but it still looks like current day LA. So it's so high concept, and some of the concepts are smart, but it's a future in which killing someone who wins the lottery gives you their lottery. So what happens is it's sort of like the Dangerous Game. Do you remember that, or at least the Ice-T version of like Manhunt and Man? Or
I thought you were about to say Demolition Man.
no, it's not even that futuristic because there are no flying cars. Because the reason I can't go that futuristic is because this movie has no fucking money. The costumes and the sets, they made this as cheap as possible. And the whole point is that there was a great recession. And I'm like, well, this is very prescient. Like, okay. And the government's way to stop that was whoever wins the lottery gets all this money. But other people can win the lottery if they kill this person. Except guns aren't allowed, bullets aren't allowed. So it's like, oh, okay. Again, another interesting concept because it's like the whole thing was like, just shoot the fucker. Okay.
So Demolition Man, once again.
No, because Demolition Man was smart in terms of like what happens when a future that has no crime has crime again. Like they don't know how to stop Simon Phoenix because it's like we only deal with parking tickets and not even noise complaints because everything's perfect. So when a guy shows up with blonde hair and karate, they're like, "Oh fuck, what do we do?" Like,
We unfroze Blade. That's what they did.
Yeah, well, there's only going to be one Blade, as he told us. So,
and he was right.
And the funniest diss of the year. That's funnier than any Kendrick Lamar diss. Him being like, and there's only gonna be one Blade made by the company trying to make another Blade movie. Again, like that's the quadruple entendre Drake was talking about with Wesley Snipes and Deadpool and Wolverine. But it flash forward to 2030. So this is, I think it's been happening for a few years. And like I said, it's kind of like trying to be like LA's a shithole and people want to be actors still and people want to be famous. So I'm like, I respect it on that. But then it's just deranged. It almost is like a cartoon, but with real people, because Awkwafina's character is able to absorb getting her ass kicked like she's Jackie Chan, even though she's just a regular actress. And I'm not saying that just because no, because it's like they throw her against the wall, they kick her like in the stomach, and she doesn't have any fighting training. And she's just able to bounce back up, just like how Jackie Chan would like fall off 10 ladders and be like, like it's
that was a close one. I don't want any trouble.
Yeah, that's basically her in this movie. And then she's also kind of not able to do kung fu, but like stuff from like, this doesn't make any sense for her character. And I had a text during the first 15 minutes of this movie, because it does have a good opening where like this whole idea of the jackpot lotteries, in fact, where Sean William Scott, of all people, is on the run. And all these people are trying to kill him because he's the person who won the lottery. So if he makes it to sundown, he lives and gets to keep whatever his jackpot is. The people are the jackpots, not so like, again, like you get your money if you survive. If they kill you, they get your money. And he's fighting off all these.
This is reverse hunt. It's like the Uno version of.
Like I said, it's Dangerous Game meets Hunger Games meets, again, like I said, the concepts are interesting. It's just the execution, like a lot of the movies we're going to talk about besides this one today, are the problem. But like Sean William Scott is able to fend off these people until this innocent old lady kills them with like those things they use to kill cows. Like they shoot the metal rod instead of like those guns. And she gets his jackpot, and it's like, oh, so that's what this is going to be like this world, like anyone can kill you. But John Cena's character, he's obsessed with the Ninja Turtles, but they really don't even explain why. But like he listens to the Ninja Turtle rap, not the Go Ninja Go, but like the actual like other Ninja Turtle rap.
The intro to the old song?
I think so. Yeah, because he raps it while it's playing, and at the end when like he needs to power up to save Awkwafina, he's like, it's like time to turn into a half shell, and like it starts playing, and he beats dudes' asses while tied to a chair. It's like I said, I can see why he chose this movie, because one, like in all his movies, he plays a former man of the service. There's three things John Cena loves: making kids' days, due to all the Make-A-Wish stuff. He loves being the hero to children. 2, he loves the troops. It's been that way since 2004. He was the star of the Marine, all the camo stuff, all of it. And then 4, he loves bad bitches. So there are 3 things this man loves. And almost every movie he plays a man of the service. That movie Freelance, he was a former Army Ranger. Peacemaker is a soldier turned superhero. I mean, he's damn near a soldier because he's a super spy in the Fast and Furious movies. Again, like I said, the Marine. So I can see why he takes these. The Wall, he was in Fair and Taylor Johnson. That was his first movie with Amazon. Again, that was a movie where he was an Army sniper. So like I could see why he's like, oh, I'll be in the movie. But he's the Army Ranger who's the nice guy. That's the whole point of this movie. Is like he's a nice guy. He's trying to save Awkwafina. He's not trying to kill her for her money. He's like, I'll save you if you give me a cut. I'll be like your bodyguard. And he has this great moment where he shows up. And that's when the movie picks off, because everything in the first 15 minutes before he shows up is Awkwafina trying to act. It's trying to be funny. It's trying to be sentimental. I was just about to that. Thank you, Sean. And again, Vacation Friends, which he's playing an asshole in that movie until it's like, well, he was a guy who lost his buddy when they were serving in Iraq or Afghanistan. It's like, oh, that's why he's a drunk, drug addicted, let's have a good time guy now, because he's trying to wash away, PTSD and all that. I'm like, that doesn't explain anything. And all these movies are just bad choices. And I've been saying this for over a year and a half now. Ever since Fast X, I'm like, this guy needs some help in terms of his agency. People were like this. He's going through a humiliation ritual on the Oscars. I'm like, no, that's the best thing that could happen to him. When he was on the Oscars, damn near ass naked, to present an award because that was him in front of millions of people in Hollywood's elite being like, all right, this guy's funny. This guy can work. But then they see him in these shitty movies and they're like, oh, he's still the wrestler. And this movie mocks wrestlers at one point. Aquafina literally goes like, I don't want to be an actor anymore. It just former wrestlers and YouTube influencers. And I'm like, bitch, you're a fake rapper who's acting now. What do you talk? Like, again, this movie tries to be meta and then clever on itself. But like, if you watch it, it's almost offensive in its like depiction of like LA Skid Row and trying to make fun of, again, like people who want to be actors. It's just not a movie that's funny enough to be even like Hot Shots or Scary Movie. It's not, you know what I mean? Like those parodies that are clever, even though they can be annoying. It's not on that level. And it pissed me off watching it. And there are some funny lines and some decent action because they got like a real action choreographer. But I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, because when I saw the trailer last week, I didn't even know that movie existed.
They waited a long time to drop that trailer. No, it's all right because it was something that was not. He had a lot of projects announced in the middle of the Suicide Squad dropping. This was one of them, and the other movie he's going to do with Amazon with Idris Elba. That's supposed to be like that. There are two different types of foreign spies teaming up together to save. I can't remember if it's the president or something or what, but this was the other one, and it was reuniting Awkwafina and Simu Liu from Shang-Chi because that was just about to drop. And the guy who directed this is Paul Feig. He did Bridesmaids, which was a success. He did The Heat, which was kind of okay, but a success. But he did that Melissa McCarthy movie, Spy, that I really like. And the action in that is decent, even though he's not an action director. He's a comedy director, but that movie's fucking hilarious. But then he also did 2016 Ghostbusters, the all-female version. I'm like, that, which wasn't awful like people thought it was. It just wasn't the Ghostbuster movie people wanted.
Yeah.
I wasn't offended by it or like, oh, women can't be Ghostbusters. I'm like, yeah, this is good for what it is, but it still wasn't like a good movie.
Yeah, they're already Ghostbusters. You don't have to worry about it. They investigate all type of crimes.
But even then, people haven't liked the last two Ghostbusters, so it just goes to show like no one can make a Ghostbusters movie. It was something that belonged to the 80s.
Right. After the second one, they should have called to go home.
They even shouldn't have made the second one.
No, the second one, I can see why they did do it, even though
I can see why they made it, but it's like if once you saw what turned out, it's like they should just stop. It does have that good moment where they use that goo to get the Statue of Liberty to move, and it's the your love getting me higher.
Yeah,
but other than that's the only good movie and the only good moment in that movie because it's like Sigourney Weaver and Bill Murray aren't together because she has a baby by another guy, but yet they still want to be together. It's one of those things that we'll get into when I finally saw Bad Boys Ride or Die last Sunday, which pissed me off in that same way of like your continuity is now on the Fast and the Furious level, which just like angers me about you not caring about your own franchise. But no, like I said, this movie is just wacky. Like that's all I can say about it. I'll recommend you actually like spend time to watch it because I think you might get some enjoyment out of it, but you also be like, hey, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it probably after this. More than likely, now that you talked about it and broke it down, I definitely would take a gander at it.
But I'm just confused by his choices. Let me see what else he has coming up. Because
you think his agent tell him he gonna do? He treat his agent like Vince McMahon, like whatever I tell you to do, damn it, you do it.
Well, that is the thing. Maybe he's just that loyal of a guy because he was always loyal to Vince McMahon. But as of late, I'm just like
be loyal to Hollywood.
I think he's just loyal to these ideals. Like I said, like, is my character going to be funny, but a member of the service? Is he going to be this? Like, I think that's what he's looking for in projects. He's looking for these traits for characters that he can play, even though he's someone who he could probably play a serial killer or a guy who doesn't have to be a badass. You know, I mean, I think sometimes
serial killers, look at 250 chasing after you with a gun or a blade.
It's not that he needs Batista's agent because I think Batista's acting at times is overrated. in terms of his two.
Tweaking now.
No, I'm saying his like in the Dune movies, all he does is just but his casting is here's this guy who's a badass who's a coward. That's his character in the Dune movies. Like we're gonna pick this giant man to play a coward because in those movies he's not the badass. Austin Butler's the badass in the second one. Batista's the loser in the family. He's the black sheep. And
he played it well. I think that's a good transition for him compared to just beating the hell out of people.
No, I know, but that's his choice is what I'm saying is to be that, like to show range. Like he stopped being the guy who kicks ass in movies. Like he couldn't wait for Guardians of the Galaxy to end because not just the whole makeup thing, but like he doesn't want to continue to be the same like raw stab, which is why he was trying to be more funny in the last two, even though he was as funny as he was in all three. But in the last one, he does like the robot and all that. Like he tried to be like a real comedy character instead of like the badass of the group, which was the whole point of the first one. Yeah. And as of late, you can see with him slimming down, which you are always like, damn, look at this guy now. He looks sick. I'm like, also he's damn near he's 60 damn near. Like you forget that.
But it's just crazy to see him lose that much weight that fast, like muscle mass and all that. But again, like you just said, he almost 60. It's hard to keep that shit up.
Yeah, he's 60, but we see what happened to the offensive linemen in the NFL when they retire. Like, you mean I have to stop eating? Whew, okay, all right. And then they all slim. But then everyone else who plays the other positions, they gain the weight. Like Jerome Bettis, he blew up. People were making fun of Darrelle Revis. I'm like, well, this guy had to be in the slimmest shape to run against Randy Moss. Let him eat his, extra pounds of food because he ain't have to be Revis Island anymore. Okay, he can be the size of an island if he wants, but that's cool with me.
That's crazy.
But he is because John Cena I think has what Batista has in terms of an actor. Like they have actual traits instead of just what The Rock did. Of like, no, I'm not saying that, like The Rock was smart to keen in on like people like me when I beat people up and when I make funny jokes. Batista's like, I don't want to just do that. I want to show I can act. John Cena can do both. Like watch him in not just the Suicide Squad, but Peacemaker the show. Half of that is just him acting, not kicking ass, just like him acting. So we can see he has the talent. It's just the projects as of late or like, oh, and maybe this is all stuff that he had in the can in the last 2 years post-pandemic. And now we're going to maybe see bigger stuff because he was in Barbie. That was just a cameo. He was in Argyle, and that was just basically a borderline cameo. And in Argyle, he's supposed to be the computer guy of that group, even though that movie is a joke of a joke. So John Cena playing the computer guy is a joke. But a funny one, like how Chris Evans was the computer guy in The Losers. That's one of my favorite castings of all time. It's like you pick a guy like Chris Evans to be the hacker guy. Like what the like Ving Rhames is the all time of like this guy is the hacker. He's the size of a mountain.
Right. The dude that looked like he could bench press a bunch of computers.
Yeah, but that's why the Mission Impossible.
Squad.
Yeah, that's why the Mission Impossible movies work. It's like, shouldn't Luther be in the field with Ethan? No, he's in the truck. Clickety clacking.
Yeah.
But let me see what he has else. Oh, he was a voice in the Mutant Ninja Turtles movie of last year, which was really good.
Yeah.
But
as of right now, you mentioned the frat movie already, right?
Oh, the Ricky Stenicki from earlier this year.
Yeah.
See, in that
$1.
Well, it was an Amazon movie as well, and that's what Jackpot is. So he must have this relationship with Amazon because I just mentioned that Idris Elba movie is also an Amazon movie. So who knows? But that Ricky Stenicki movie was him trying to act, and he's the best part of that god awful movie. He's always the best, and I'm not just saying this because we're the fans, obviously, but like he's the best part of the stuff he's in. Like he's the only thing that's good in this movie Jackpot, and he was the only thing that was good in Ricky Stenicki.
I'm trying to think. The Suicide Squad, he was the best thing about it. what was that movie with LeBron?
That whole movie was good because Margot Robbie was good. Idris Elba was great.
Yeah,
And all
but
the
when he
set
showed
piece.
up, he had the lines, he had the bars.
Yeah, he was meant to be that character. He was meant to be the wise cracking guy in the group, but and he also had the best fight scenes because there was a scene of him and Idris going kill for kill when he fought Rick Flag. That was a great fight scene. So yeah, he was kind of that's why James Gunn is like, I'm going to build a whole TV show around this guy because there's so much there, and people are going to respond to this. You can see why he made that decision, and that cameo in The Bear, I think, was just more so of like The Bear season 3, which people had a lot of problems with, and I thought it was fine for what it was, which was a setup to the next season. But casting John Cena as the good-looking brother in the Fact family was just like that was just stunt casting. You can get anyone at this point on that show, and he was like, yeah, of course I'm going to be on this Emmy-nominated show. You mean no? But it was something that did seem out of place. People weren't wrong to be like, why is John Cena here? Because that's what it felt like. But that's how it feels like in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, for the most part, outside entertainers, when they go to something else in entertainment and they're pretty good at it, it's always that question of why are they here? Why not get an actual like actor, so to speak?
No, I think people see him as an actual actor now, but just in the context of that show, I felt like John Cena seems weird to be in this type of show. Not to like cast shame or anything like that, but it was like, because he literally comes out of nowhere like it's the John Cena. It's John Cena. Like it might as well have been soundtrack to that when he shows up in that episode of The Bear. But because in the same episode, Brian Koppelman, who's not famous because he's a writer director, is able to show up and just cook his dialogue. But that was my thoughts on Jackpot. I finally want to talk to you about Ride or Die, Bad Boys 4. So I didn't hate it. All right, let me get that off my chest. I did have problems with it though, but there was some stuff I did like. But just real quick, did you enjoy this more than the third?
By a long shot.
Okay.
The third one is the least best one. It's not to say it's trash, but it's not as good as, obviously 1 and 2. Then they had like at that point 16 years off, so that's a given. But I feel like I've seen some people say the fourth one is the best one yet. I think they smoking.
They are smoking crack.
It's definitely in the top 3 though.
No. I think this is the fourth best one. And
are you tweaking?
No, see, here's my problems with it. And it all goes back to the issue with the third, which is he has this son that comes out of nowhere. Because this whole idea that Mike Lowry being this, that he had a life before Marcus, that still never made any sense. Like before they were partners, he went on this mission solo, and then they were Miami's best cops. To me, that still
doesn't make sense about it.
And it's that bad retconning that I had a problem with Fast and Furious 9, which is you have a brother this whole time and you never speak about him, like ever. Come on, I get the whole he was dead to me after that point, but still, you never talk about or no cop mentions that Dom has a brother. It's just Dom Toretto and his sister. So it was that to me with the whole like Mike Lowry's like, before we teamed up, I had one mission solo. So to try to write that in this whole story to explain like the villain they're fighting is his own son. Not the fact that like it's funny because you and Chris Ann spoiled that for me on the Best of 2020 episode. And when you were like, his son didn't even look like him. And I'm like, wait, he has a son? I didn't think, but you didn't spoil it to the point like the son was the villain. You were just like, it's revealed like Mike Lowry has a son in this one. And I'm like, oh, okay. But still, that's still my biggest issue. Even though whoa, you good?
Whatever. Yeah.
All right, we can stop and come back in a sec if you're.
No, my hand, hey man. The sugar. Somebody give me Arizona IC. I was listening to you though.
So the whole idea of the son, which is then my biggest point with the way the movie ends, which is the son helps him on this mission to clear their names, but he still has to run away. Like,
Yeah, because he like in that what's the movie with Sylvester Stallone, Arnold
no, it's
Schwarzenegger,
no, it's
the Escape
literally
Plan.
no, it's literally Fast and Furious. We're like, yes, Dom Toretto, you helped us on this mission, but I'm still gonna send you to Lompoc. That's what this was. I'm like, how do you know you're going back to jail in Miami? You just helped them clear their names. You just
And
exposed the Miami.
they never said he
Yeah,
was in jail neither.
no, he was in jail.
No,
He's
I'm
in.
tripping. Not jail in Miami.
Yeah, that's where he is, and the whole thing is like Mike's trying to get him out. Um,
Did they say? I thought they just said he was in some super X-Men
he's
jail.
no, he's in a holding part in a different part of Florida, which is why they have to take like the shortest plane ride in history just so they can have a dope helicopter set piece. They're
Right.
like it's Orlando to Miami. I mean, Amp would probably be a better judge of like the Florida logistics, but
No,
that's
that jail that they had him in was in Jacksonville.
basically because where they land with the rednecks. But Mike's like, it's a 45-minute flight to Miami. I'm like, so we needed a helicopter? Like,
He
so
did say that, but then they already in Miami, so
no, he's not. Like, he's in this, like I said, he's in a different
oh
part of
yeah, I'm
Florida
tripping. He
where the
like on that
Supermax
at the
is. Yeah.
outskirts and shit. But
Yeah.
then a 45-minute plane ride. I don't know. Listen, I'm messing up on the math a lot. Y'all gotta forgive me.
No,
But
you're
I'm
not,
pretty
because
sure.
this is the movie.
Yeah, because I'm confused about it because I'm like, wait a minute. Even if let's say you north of Florida, 45-minute plane ride or a helicopter ride? No, I don't think that's how that works. I think
And
it's a
not
little
just
less
a
than that.
helicopter ride, the fucking Call of Duty helicopters is what they use. Like,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could be there in about 20,
and, and, I'm,
25
and I'm
minutes.
saying, and I'm getting pissed off, and this is the way people get pissed off at Fast and the Furious. And I'm like, and I do the Michael Bay, just shut up. Shut up. It's a movie. Shut up. Like, so, but
But this was more so, and I love the movie. I think it's movie of the year, but it's more so reminiscent of I'll say Fast and the Fate of the Furious.
and that's no. See, it almost seems like it could be on that level, but it's more so the last two Fast and Furious with a little bit of Hobbs and Shaw, because the whole Reggie part is like, that's a great addition to this movie when Reggie saves the house, because it's like Reggie's a Marine. He makes
When
fun
he
of
got on
Reggie.
that Call of Duty shit or
Yeah,
Splinter
he
Cell shit,
make
yeah.
yeah he makes fun of Reggie for being a lazy bum, even though he's again a member of the armed forces.
Thank you for your service. Go get a job.
Yeah, basically. But I'm also like, should the next movie be Reggie joins Ammo? Shouldn't he be the third guy in the crew because the Asian dude left to be a movie star? What
Well,
isn't that what they
everybody's
should?
saying that
Yeah,
essentially Reggie and his son should team up.
yeah. Which is my
Will
thing of
Smith's
like,
son.
yeah, that's why I'm pissed of. I'm
We
not
don't
like
even
I'm
know
not,
his name. We don't even know Mike
no,
Leary's
it's
son's name.
no because it's just it's I keep
Enrique
forgetting.
Iglesias.
I know the actor's name, but I keep forgetting his son's name because it's legit
Everybody
Hispanic.
does.
Because I'm like, it's insane they went full on Hispanic for a Mexican character. Like, this
But
man.
then in the movie, remember he said, "Why are you doing them air quotes?" He was like, "Your son." So they kind
Yeah,
of playing it like maybe that really isn't his son.
that stuff did work of like them trying to have a father son relationship. Where, and I mean, we're bouncing all over the place. But I was texting you
No,
during the
we
first
not. We
30.
talking about a movie that's bouncing all over the place. Pause.
Well, that's the style of the movie. Because
Yeah,
again, Adil and
camera
Bilal,
cut,
they
camera cut.
not in the bad way, in the smart way. Like when they have that sequence with the gun, that was the behind the scenes footage of Will Smith had the camera strapped to him as he was like, Adil and Bilal, they did their shit like they did with the third one, and it would have been interesting what they would have done with
Bad girl.
no, not just Bad Girl, but they were up for Bad Boys. I mean, I'm Bad Boys, Beverly Hills Cop 4, but they turned it down. I think in the process of, it must have been post Bad Boys for Life and before Bad Girl. But I think had they directed that movie, Eddie Murphy would have been like, I ain't doing half the shit you don't want to do. Because when you watch Axel F, he has like one or two scenes of doing shit, but the rest is like Eddie Murphy being like, I got off my couch in LA, drove to the set, drove back home. Like,
Yeah, because essentially they shot that down the street from his house with a life
they
to live.
Yeah, and they shot scenes around what he wanted to do. Like, Eddie, do you feel like having? Granted, Eddie Murphy then did say in some articles like, "I'm not as young as I used to be, obviously, so I can't do what I did back in the day in terms of my own stunts like I did back then."
Stunts. Well, but I mean, he
The
did
first
do
one,
stuff.
in the
Yeah,
first one, he does a lot, and in the second, he was doing more than he ever did at that point going forward.
but he
So
talking like he Jackie Chan once again. Like he was doing stunts in every movie. You didn't do no stunts in Pluto Nash.
he wasn't doing stunts in Shrek. You weren't doing stunts in Doctor Doolittle.
Right, right. You just make a waffles in Shrek.
Yeah, but but yeah, I think had those guys directed Beverly Hills Cop 4, it probably would have been a better movie potentially. Because the guy who directed Beverly Hills Cop 4, like it's the poorest version of Michael Bay.
Yeah, that movie's not good. I tried to watch it.
No, it's not. He's again, it's good for its callbacks because I haven't watched all the previous Beverly Hills Cop before that one was released,
Hmm.
and you could see why Eddie Murphy wanted to make the movie. So he actually tries and cares in the movie. Like it's good when he's like, where he gets to the hotel and he can't even come up with a lie for a room. He's just like, I'm too tired. Give me the room. They're like $600. He's like, gotta love Beverly Hills. Like it's good for its
Yeah.
commentary on the past films, but this, like the captain's daughter, she's a U.S. Marshal. I'm like, that was never ever explained, and
Established.
but her
And the only reason why
character,
you know it's the daughter because she cuss a lot.
is useless because it's only meant to set up him saving her daughter. So it's not even. People are like, oh, she's doing her best, Tommy Lee Jones from The Fugitive. I'm like, no, the fuck, she's not.
She ain't.
She doesn't get it.
Classic.
She doesn't. Yeah, she does not give a. I want every outhouse, in house, hen house, and dog house. We are going to find this man. She doesn't do anything of that. Her only good line is, if I see your son in the street, I'm going to shoot him. Like, holy
Yeah.
shit. Like,
She was just mad and she was cussing a lot. That was
yeah.
it.
And even though it's a great actress, Rhea Seehorn, because she was Emmy nominated for Better Call Saul, but I'm like, her in this movie, it's like when you have someone who's capable, but you don't know how to use them until at the end, like I said, we're like, he saves the daughter. That I was like, don't shoot him, don't shoot him. And I'm like, oh, God, I still enjoyed it because, like I said, the Martin Lawrence. So I texted you 30 minutes and I'm like, did they want to make fun of Martin Lawrence being fat? And you're like, that was kind of his input. But I'm like, Martin Lawrence has been dad bod since the last Bad Boys in terms of like Bad Boys 2. He's been a dad bod since then. Like Skinny Martin went away after the millennium started. Like
Yeah.
Martin Lawrence stopped being skinny when it went from 1999 to 2000.
Yeah, but they you could tell that this was shot like during a writer's strike with him because of his appearance and before the writer's strike because he was a little bit in shape, but then when he got to that level that he's at now, you could tell. Like I
Where
think when he
people
was
are
in the
speculating his health is in decline because it's all
yeah,
speculation. Yeah.
yeah, but he still did a good job. He slapped Will, he slapped Mike.
That's the
Like he
best
showed
scene
him
in
in
the
the game.
movie. Yeah, that's the best scene when he's again like it was smart to get like Mike Lowry, the ultimate badass, like anxiety attacks. Like this guy's who was the baddest of badasses is now scared. He does the Rocky, I'm afraid. Like that's
Yeah,
basically him. Like so when he slaps him, like I need bad when Mike, nasty Mike, and like not bad me, bad. Like and it's like oh shit, and it's like that's when the action
yeah.
picks up.
It was it was like Festus and what's his name?
Biscuits and
Biscuits and
gravy.
yeah, it
Where
was just like that
he
when he heard
rings
the
the
bell
bell.
and he go crazy. It was just like that.
Yeah, like I enjoy that aspect, or him being the guy who was scary throughout the entire franchise, being like, I can't die, Mike. It's impossible for me to die. That was genius of like this was the guy who like, no, I can't do it. No, don't make me do it. No, and all the other ones. And now he's like, I'm gonna walk in front of traffic. That's how fearless I am. And him be like, what the fuck is the matter with you? And
And then when it was in the ship, the cargo ship, he was just
yeah,
like, I mean, obviously you still afraid because you 30,000 feet in the air, but
no, but
when
he's
you,
like, no, he wasn't doing the. He wasn't. He stopped being Tyrese in the Fast and Furious movies
I
with
was
that.
about to say that.
Because
Yeah,
that's what he was. That's basically what Tyrese quipped. I mean, cribbed
yeah,
from Bad Boy, like Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2 is Martin Lawrence being like, I hate you, Mike. I hate you, Mike. And then Tyrese. But again, they ripped Tyrese's thing of we can't die, y'all. Because the whole point of Fast 9 and that great intro of him like surviving like he's fucking the Roadrunner out of all these tricks and like being like I'm bulletproof. I survived the landmine. I survived all of this. I'm like, it's weird that these two franchises are like ripping off each other in such a way. Because remember, I told you that Michael Bay video where he's like, I haven't seen this one when he was talking about Fast 9. He's like, but I know they do. I know they do a lot of my stuff in these movies, which is like, God damn, you ain't gotta say it, but still.
So
like,
probably what this was to get back, as far as him. He probably was like, all right, they stole some of my stuff.
But he doesn't make these movies, remember?
No, but he producing it. So that's what I'm saying. You still have no say so.
He signs his name so he gets a cut of the check. Because you can tell Adil and Bilal, they watch those movies, and those are the movies they want to make.
Yeah, and you still got to okay it as a producer. So they probably was like,
yeah.
With him, he probably, oh, they steal my stuff? Cool. Let me steal it back. And try to make it better.
I'm not mad that he doesn't want to make these movies, even though he's chosen to make 6 Underground instead of Bad Boys 3, which is 6 Underground.
That was 3 years ago.
Was awful. And he chose to make Ambulance.
That was 3 years ago. No, 6 Underground was 5 years ago.
6 Underground is it's the end of 2019. And again, Bad Boys for like.
Because I remember the advertisement for that was crazy.
Yeah.
They spent most of the money on marketing budget. This Netflix movie is going to be the one, I promise y'all.
Yeah, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
Another Ryan Reynolds wasn't.
And then Ambulance, was 2021.
2022, because it was being filmed. Filming picked back up in 2021, yeah. And his next movie, we don't even know what it is really, but it's like, I wish you would have just chosen to go back to this franchise, even though I'm also glad that these two young guys got a chance to make these movies, because they did add something different, and they kind of maybe added more care, even though I saw people tweet about the movie when it was out, which was what happened to the Lowry brothers. I mean, not the Lowry, but the brothers. Like where his son's at, like I said that did piss me off a little bit. It's again so do you just not care that much? You care about giving Reggie his moment, but you don't care about these guys? Like these guys?
They didn't do anything. All they did was snitch. They snitched on the first movie, and then the second one they was just teenagers.
Well, yeah, because again, they're useless in the second, but they're great in the first with the whole "my ears are big" and the. You got a date last night, Uncle Mike? Ooh, did I? Like, but you're right. In the second, they were kind of writing them out halfway, because the whole point is like he's now a father of a daughter once Reggie comes to the house. So I don't know. I definitely don't want to see Reggie and I gotta look up the fucking son's name now.
Yeah, because we just don't care Michael Lowry's Spanish son.
Yeah, I don't want to keep saying, because I do like the actor Jacob Scipio, but. God, because I literally just cannot remember. I literally cannot remember it, because it's just like he has a Mexican son, and he even talks like, "Hey, home," like he talks like, "You don't want to do that." Basically, that's what he's talking like the whole time.
Yeah, when he was in the jail, when he was in the prison,
that prison fight is badass though. When he fights the Aryan Brotherhood and he just like beats the shit out of them, like
but they gotta explain why he got John Wick moves too.
No, they explained that in the third. Like he was trained to be an assassin. He played Armando.
CIA.
Armando. Well, he's a cartel kid. So like the cartel.
No, but you ain't supposed to be that damn good, dog. He took a whole weight hitting somebody. He fucking had all these different type of moves, these stab moves and shit in the third.
Yeah, movie. He is like the baddest dude with a knife, because that's his specialty.
Shaw. That's who he is.
That's the thing, like his character was like the badass about, which is like, oh, okay. And which is why they try to say he's Mike's son, because like they got the same skill set. I'm like, Mike Lowry is kind of a badass. Like he's a great driver, he's a great shooter, but like Mike Lowry doesn't win in a hand-to-hand fight. Yeah, like he's like you said, he's not John Wick to that extent. He's what cops in the 90s were, which is like great at driving, which is bullet, and great at shooting. He was the Steve McQueen school of cops. He was that. But his kid is like survived stab wound after stab wound, is still going. And I'm like, damn, this guy's a badass. So I don't want to see the version where him and Reggie become the bad boys. But I'm like, the move would have.
They got you. They got about the damn same skill set. Reggie took out 15 people hand to hand.
But they won't have. But as you and I talked about in the lead up to this one, was like the only reason they make these movies is because the chemistry between the two leads. Like that's the only reason you can keep this going, is that if these two guys want to make movies together, they'll make them.
Yeah, but you got to get others involved, and I think that's the case.
No, because the whole point of Alexander Ludwig and Vanessa Hudgens are now sleeping together. I'm like, that's okay. Again, that's a little Fast and the Furious of like everyone wants to be with Ramsey. So that made sense in terms of like, but also the cop that the police captain, Mike should have been with her instead of the new wife that they just gave him all of a sudden.
He made a move, bro. Dr. Umar moved.
I disagree. He should have stuck with the Latina.
Why? You wanted to be that loca?
No, they had the better chemistry where she was like, and she admits that like you finally settled down. And it makes you think like, oh, she wishes she would have settled down with him.
Well, she did with Mr. Fantastic.
That casting was still insane to me. I think I had forgotten that he was in the movie.
And then she had spoiler alert, she had to body him in the elevator. So
that, and I mean, Eric Dane was a great villain because he's a great villain in a lot of stuff. So him being like the guy who survived the cartel and is going to get payback against the cartel and is going to use the cops to do it it's like main villain plot is interesting because like how they execute the money transfer and how they execute the plane hijacking and the helicopter hijacking with like use Lowry's gun, blah blah, make and say this on the radio. Like it's smart, it's clever in that way. But his base is the fucking abandoned alligator park. Like that's kind of...
And then what else you gonna use? They got that to go alligator.
Yeah, the albino alligator who he's like, I'm like, be calm, like, and then it fucking bites his arm.
He's like, all right, I could.
He's like, I should have known. I should have known better, but I didn't. Like
that alligator was Brock Lesnar. People, that's what they call it.
But there were some interesting moments, but I think this was the weakest of it. Everyone's saying this is the best. I'm like, nah, you are fucking.
No, they tweaking.
Yeah.
Nah, I can't. When this first came out, people were saying that they tweaking, dog. It go 2, 1, 4, and then 3.
Yeah. At this point, that's what it is because 2. I know. I still think it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I still like the first better than the second, if I'm being honest.
No, but if people say that, I'm not mad because it was more comedy involved.
Yeah, and which was our argument of when we had that 90s episode, because I don't think either of us had it for our 2000s episode, but the action in the second is way better.
Yeah.
But the story in the second is annoying with the whole Jordi Mola story about his drug dealers annoying.
Johnny Tappy and him.
Yeah, that thing just goes on. They gave him way too many scenes, which is always kind of thing with the bad boys films. Is like they give the bad guys just as much screen time as the villains. Like, but his scenes were so annoying. And it's like every time I watch him, I'm like, another scene with this guy. Like, fuck.
But that's the Berkheimer play too, because he does it in every single $1 billion production, and he's
like, I'm gonna cast movie star actors and then great foreign actors.
Yeah, well, I'm going back and watching the Pirate series, and there you go.
Yeah,
it's established on goddamn Barbosa, and then fucking not the flying Davy Jones.
Yeah, Bill Nye. So those are largely British productions, but his philosophy.
No characters backstory. Fiction, no characters.
But no, his philosophy is movie stars and then actors, and they each need time to shine because, like, ooh, you're really good. Like, because if the people think the movie star actors are annoying, they're gonna like when so and so is a great villain. Like the second Beverly Hills Cop It's the German actor Jürgen Prochnow who was in Das Boot and a bunch of other, big foreign films. And like, this is a big get to get this guy to be the villain in, right? Or even fucking, oh God, what's her last name? Who married Sylvester Stallone? Bridget Nielsen. She's again the foreign star. She's not a star or an actor, but still like that appeal. Like the foreigners are the villains. So I don't know. I mean, again, I my point is I don't want a fifth because Martin Lawrence can barely keep up doing what he's doing in these, and it's almost getting that point for Will Smith too, not just story wise, but you can kind of maybe see like, yeah, this guy is kind of losing steam. He's lagging behind Tom Cruise in the race of like the last movie star that can truly do what they were doing before.
Yeah, he about to be 56. I think September. It's like, it's getting quiet.
Because you can even
but
tell.
Now, my fault. But now, kind of like with him, I think he on that Ric Flair steamboat. Like I still got it. Like he still got it, but it's like he got like 5 movies in pre-production. It's like, that 56 coming soon, and you ain't the same spring chicken that you was before.
It's just a matter of what those movies are going to be. One's a sci-fi movie, and who knows if even it's going to be in a sci-fi vein of like iRobot, Men in Black, where he was doing a lot. Maybe it kind of seems like it'd be more thinky sci-fi than.
Oh shit! The I Am Legend 2 movie.
They keep talking about that movie. That movie's not going to fucking happen.
It's going to happen.
No.
If he wants it to happen, it'll happen. He's like the king of sequels.
No, because it took him fucking how many years for Bad Boys 3? And then like we talked about on the show, the only reason we got the 4th is because he slapped Chris Rock. And he's like, what's going to course correct this? I'm going to literally drive to Martin Lawrence's house and be like, guess what we're doing? Bad Boys 4, y'all. Now like me again, please. Like me again, please. I'm like,
to be honest though, like I talked about it before, those people care. Like the people that he went to go see at the Magic Johnson Theater, they didn't care about that shit.
No, again, I don't care that he slapped the shit out of Chris Rock. I never cared about that.
Would you slap Chris Rock? He talked about your women.
See, if I slap Chris Rock,
beat your ass. Chris Rock will beat your ass.
No, I'm saying if I slap him,
I know damn well this white boy hit me.
If I slap Chris Rock, he wants to sue me. He didn't want to sue Will Smith.
I would have.
That's the point. That's the stupidest thing of all time. Is why didn't you sue this man?
I need 50 million right now. My face hurt. Pause.
Yeah, that's why when everyone's like, he could have killed him, I'm like, he could have sued him back. Like,
brother, I would have.
He would have made more from suing him than he did for the Madagascar films. Like,
yeah, Dolph Ziggler ain't got shit on me, bro. I would have oversold that slap.
Yeah, I mean,
I got shot out of a cannon.
It still just rings baffled. Like he wanted to talk all this shit after, but I'm like, you had physical proof for legal action, and instead you wanted to go from place to place being like, he slapped me because of this, he slapped me because of that, and he's blah blah blah. I'm like, well, do something about it then. Either slap him back or sue him. Don't just do nothing.
If I ain't gonna sue, I'm gonna get them people on you. I'm gonna call some hitters.
So that whole thing again, like I was not mad that he slapped him. Like the reasoning of why he slapped him was stupid. Like you're defending a woman who constantly shits on you.
Wait, hold on, brother. That happens every day in households.
No, I know. But this woman does it on a platform for millions to see, and every time, like Housewife.
Are millions watching the Red Table?
They're watching the clips on Twitter.
Good point.
Yeah, again, we don't watch stuff as it happens. We watch it on Twitter. So millions of people have seen her make fun of him and be like, Tupac, come back. Tupac, come back. Like,
well, you see, she stopped doing that. So maybe he had a come to Jesus moment with her. That motherfucker's dead. Don't talk about him no more.
I thought you were going to say, obviously, she had an impact on her son. Because all I've seen in the last 2 days is her son, their son, I should say, James Smith, left one woman for another, and I'm like,
But
I
you
don't
know
give
why
a
people celebrate.
why.
It ain't, brother. It ain't milk no more. It's just caramel. He like them a little bit. You know, he like exotic.
No. Okay, we're
He
not
like
again.
video girl looking women.
We don't want to debate this again
What you
because
want to say? He don't like women? I was gonna say that too, but I like his music.
no. What I'm saying is they like God. No, see, I can't even do it. I'm gonna get shot.
No, by who?
Again, they want the ones that are light skinned. It's that's it. Like that's what he's going after. Like I said, if he doesn't want milk no more, he wants the thing that's right next to it in the aisle. He doesn't want to go all the way. He wants the one that's right next to it in the palette.
So that's a given, and I say that every week. That's a given in the
Yeah.
entertainment business. You're right, but yeah, it's a given in entertainment. I'm not saying I would do the same thing. It's just
No,
that's the
yeah, but
entertainment
his thing,
business.
if I can't fuck white women, I want to fuck what's closest to white women. So what's
Damn,
that? Yeah.
is that how Channing Tatum feel about Zoe Kravitz?
No, Channing Tatum was like, I just want someone who's not gonna hate me because I have a better career than them.
He definitely got a better career than Zoe Kravitz. So yeah.
Yeah. And she's batshit crazy, but he don't
How
care.
we know? How we know?
She's the daughter of Lenny Kravitz and Lisa Bonet.
So that makes her crazy?
Yes.
How?
They are the two most these people should not mix because they would spawn someone for like
Wait,
this
how
is a
is Lenny?
man.
This is my first time ever hearing somebody say Lenny Kravitz is
Lenny
crazy.
Kravitz works out in leather pants. Granted, I'm not shaming the brother for being 50 years old and having an 8-pack, but he has leather pants on 24/7 and works out in them. And then Lisa Bonet,
Now she
I mean,
crazy. She missing them
yeah,
stairs.
exactly. I didn't want.
She
I
a
didn't want to.
gypsy.
See, I'm scared. I'm scared to say that a little bit because she would be. Did Lisa Bonet invent the fucking rug on the wall shit? More than likely.
Yeah, the dream catcher. Yeah,
yeah.
and she been looking old since '95.
Not old.
And she
She
be.
you're saying she's looked the same age for years is what it is.
Yeah. Oh, since not, bro. Ever since she left the Cosby Show, she's looked like that. You can't do the movie because she did some
Okay,
movie
no.
called Blue
Not see
Blood.
that's lane. I never want to get into is the Bill Cosby. No.
You come do the
Nope.
movie with me.
Nope.
But
But
Lenny Kravitz is crazy. It's the funniest shit ever, though.
he is. Think about it.
I'm thinking. I know.
I'm saying
sucks.
he's crazy in that musician version of crazy. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know why his music not good.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
I want
American
to
Woman.
get away. I want to fly.
I hate that fucking song. And then Quavo made it. Somebody said that's Madden 25 music.
Wait, Quavo did what?
He remade that song with Lenny Kravitz. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hey man. The Migos died when Takeoff died.
Well, that's obvious.
Yeah.
Like, but see, they didn't learn.
Lisa Bonet got that fire though, because
obviously, yeah, it's Lisa. But I'm not saying again. When we literally named the episode, people stay in the building or the house is on fire. It was because of women like Lisa Bonet. All right.
Damn, she got 2 kids by Jason Momoa. He said, "I'm splitting," just like he split.
He said he was splitting. And then he came back to her, and then he said, "No, I have to get away. I have to Lenny Kravitz and get away." Yeah, like
she's putting that voodoo on him. That's why he's what's the shit they be saying? Momoa, whatever the fuck. What's the shit the Rock be saying? Yeah, Hermana. The Hermana wasn't working.
Not that Hermana is something else. You fucking
That's what it is.
It's okay. Now we're losing.
The Tiki guy wasn't helping him for Crash Bandicoot, so. Hey, she remind me of Shorty Fine Ass from the Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Calypso?
The damn witch. Yeah, Calypso. She remind me of Calypso.
Naomi Harris?
Yeah.
But they made Naomi Harris looks like that. Because if you look at Naomi Harris in fucking Street Kings, she does not look like that. She does not. She looks.
She still look good.
No, I'm saying like they dress her up as Calypso because like it's Calypso.
Yeah, she do that hoodoo.
See, now we're in
Hey, and
shaky water. Shaky water. That's what we're in right now.
and she looked like Erica Badu.
That's so. If I say that, it's okay. I'm kidding.
So
No, but
Calypso essentially is just
is
Erica Badu
the
mixed with Zoe
godmother? Yeah.
Kravitz.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if Calypso was supposed to be. Yeah, she probably
It
is.
is Erica Badu.
No, I'm not.
About to say she young.
No, I don't know if Calypso is supposed to look like how Naomi Harris looks, but probably in people's like ideas or sketchings, like here's what Calypso would have looked like, even though she's a fictional character, as we always say. Here's what she would have looked like, which would have been, a light-skinned woman with hair and like that dark magic that's gonna entrap you. But the whole point of Calypso is like she was his strength, but then again, she was his weakness. I watched those movies at the top of the year. We almost kind of talked about it then, but you're watching them now, which is funny. But yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna address this real quick. I'm outside because if I go inside and record, I'm probably going to sleep. I'm on 1 hour of sleep, bro. I'm doing good so far. Now I'm up. Pause. But if I go inside and record this podcast, it's a strong possibility I'm going to sleep. So I'd rather be outside fucking with the sun glaring on me so we can continue to have a great episode. I'm not mad. I got to let y'all know why.
Well, we're trying to keep these at 90 minutes, so we're not going to be going too much longer, but that was Ride or Die. And that right after I watched Expendables 4 because Jacob Scipio is in that movie.
I don't fucking get why you did that, dude. I forgot that movie exists. Literally, I forgot it exists.
Well, so did the studio when they released it last year, and it made no money. Because remember,
they shot that shit like 5 years ago.
Yeah, they shot it in the middle
Borderlands?
Well, that's kind of what I'm about to segue to in a little bit, where they shot Expendables 4 because we kind of covered it in the early days, in like that first year or two of the show, and I'm like, I never really liked the third one. The first and second were okay for what they were. Funny, the thing about the third one now is it fucking had Glenn Powell, who I was like, why is this nobody in the movie about legendary action stars? So now he's the biggest star, modern star in Hollywood right now. Yeah. The most humble of beginnings. Again, that movie had Ronda Rousey and Victor Ortiz in it. And Glenn Powell is like, skirt, fuck y'all. Like, Twisters, bitch.
I mean, I think the movie's great.
Expendables 3?
Yeah.
It has a great opening where they rescue Wesley Snipes, and Wesley Snipes was like the original version of the Jason Statham character, where like they were the knife guy in the crew. But the best thing about the Expendables 2, the best things about is that Mel Gibson's the villain in the Expendables 3, which is like, you'd have to try that hardware casting. So that's a good idea.
He did that shit for free.
Yeah. And
he was doing it because he was
he needed
he was in his route. Yeah. After he was talking about them people.
Do you know he has a movie that he's directing coming out in which Mark Wahlberg shaved half his head for?
Passion of the Christ 2.
No, it's this movie. It's basically what's the best way to describe it? But they're in a plane, and you wouldn't recognize the actress, but this actress is the U.S. Marshal that's escorting Topher Grace, of all people, to this court hearing to testify against the mob. And Mark Wahlberg is the pilot, but spoiler alert, he's not the real pilot because the real pilot's dead in the back. Dun, dun, dun. So he's on the plane to kill Topher Grace so he doesn't testify. But halfway through the trailer, it's revealed that Mark Wahlberg, the middle of his head is shaved, which I'm like, did he do that so he can get new hair plugs? Because why the fuck would he do that at age 50? Like, so.
It's Tokyo Drift, man, by default.
Oh yeah, come on. That's not even a fair fight.
Yeah,
Expendables 3 is bad. But
no, it's not.
But anyway, so I watched
Antonio Banderas, Dick Ryan trying to get.
I would say that was the only good part that I can remember because I watched that movie. Had to be 7-8 years ago. him being like, I want to be an expendable. I want been my dream. And Sylvester Stallone and Kelsey Grammer are like, no, you're too old. We need young guys. So at the end, when all the guys get captured, and then Sylvester Stallone's like, only this guy can help me. And Antonio Banderas says, yes. So Armando from Bad Boys Ride or Die in For Life plays Antonio Banderas' son in Expendables 4. And he literally does an Antonio Banderas impression. And it's kind of bad. But
it is because they from two different sides in Mexico.
Yeah, but I'm like, I'm explaining why I watched this movie. I'm like, could this guy legit be an action star? Because in the Bad Boys movies, like we just discussed, he kicks ass. He's believable as a badass. In this, not so much. He's the annoying guy in the crew because he talks too much. And he kicks ass a little bit, but I'm like, I wouldn't mind, even though again Hollywood's racist, so they won't give this guy any more opportunities to be an action star. Because again, who knows? I can't remember who he's supposed to play in Batgirl, but I think it was supposed to be a cop. But regardless, he plays Antonio Banderas, and he's doing the Antonio Banderas thing of like talking too fast and being like, "Oh, my friend, oh yes, oh yeah," like he's doing all that. But 50 Cent's acting in Expendables 4.
Oh shit, he was in this. Dog, I
Yeah.
gotta go back and watch this.
See, this is I fucking hate you so much when you do
No,
this
because
shit.
I keep forgetting. Dude, I sat there and went to the theaters. I went to the Alamo Dome in Austin and watched this, dog. I went
The
to
Alamo
the
Draft
movies and spent.
House.
Yeah, I went there and spent my money. I literally forgot I seen that movie. It was that bad.
His acting is. What do you mean we're going to do that? Like he just says everything in the most basic monotone, and then PIMP plays during a shootout, and I was like, no. But the only acting that's worse.
You were a fool for that. He speaks in monotone. Hey, we gotta get him Christmas. We gotta
No.
get these dudes.
Yeah, he is. So this is our sniper. Like that, and but Megan Fox is determined to act worse than him being like, oh, like Megan Fox
Yeah, nah.
was a good-looking woman in the first two
You
Transformers.
said was?
Yeah, because she turned herself into this fucking mannequin Kim Kardashian wannabe,
All right.
and it's frightening to see.
That's shaming. That's big shame.
It's hard to look at. Like, I just
also,
look.
She about 35.
No, that's not even it. The Kim Kardashian effect literally ruined a lot of women because you can see over the course of the Defiant Ones of what Andre. I mean, like I'm gonna call him Andre Young, fucking Dr. Dre's wife.
Andre the Giant.
But over the course of the Defiant Ones, when they show like archive footage of Dr. Dre and his wife versus the modern day testimonial, you see a woman who got work done because Kim Kardashian came on the scene, and that's who she wanted to look like in the modern day. So that effect on women is fucking.
Well, first of all, Sean, according to her Wikipedia, she's Native American. I don't remember what tribe.
But you can tell in the first two Transformers movies because she looks like it. Her now,
so
it's like
that's shaming as well. It's a lot of he-men in here that are hating Sean. You disappoint me.
I'm just saying, again, the amount of work the unnecessary work women get is what I should say.
We going to dark territory.
You just talked about hoodoo for 20 minutes. So what do you mean?
What's the problem? We're going to the water, and I'm gonna drown you. So let's back up. Stay out of women's business.
Just like it's just scary. And yeah, but she's also supposed to I'm supposed to believe that she's a badass soldier at the same time. Like
you see what she did to MGK? She is a soldier.
I mean, first of all, like MGK
is a gimmick on him.
MGK is in Jackpot playing Machine Gun Kelly.
Get the fuck out of here! Really?
Yes.
Yo, he got a weird career. Why is he around?
Yeah.
he should not be this famous for this long. I don't understand his career. He had WWE. Oh, that's why he was at WWE. Oh, okay, I get it now.
What? Because of John Cena?
Because the
Yeah,
Jackpot movie. Yeah, okay, now I get
yeah.
it. Also too, Vince used to be cool with Diddy. He was signed to Bad Boy Records, being MGK.
And Vince McMahon, Sean Combs. I like your style, pal.
I
Here,
like your
here.
style, pal. That's
Yeah.
the title. I like your
but
style.
but no, Expendables 4. I told you it had PS3 level graphics for a large part of the movie. like,
It did.
and
It looked just like Infamous.
yes, especially when they're supposed to be in the Middle East and Sylvester Stallone is flying the plane to shoot out. I'm like, am I watching a cut scene for fucking Uncharted? Like,
Oh shit! Have you ever? It works. Everything works. You ever seen or you ever played 50 Cent Blood in the
Blood
Sand?
is Sand? No. But even that would
Yeah.
probably be more entertain. That's probably better acting 50 Cent did in that than he did in this because he's not even like he's just watch out over there. I'm like, eh,
He tries sometime, but he
no,
didn't try in this
yeah,
movie.
no. You're right. He does try sometimes, but in this, and I
No.
again, there's no real try to acting because this movie was just made for Jason Statham to be the lead. I'm like, we can do that in any Jason Statham movie. The fucking Beekeeper did that. I haven't watched The Beekeeper yet, but
I
that's
did.
you know what. But you know what? That's a Jason Statham movie. The whole point of the Expendables 4 is it's Jason Statham's crew. Now I'm like, it's his crew, but he's got the rejects. He's got Randy Couture and Dolph Lundgren still because Jet Li and Terry Crews are like, I'm good. I'm good. we don't need to come back.
And Terry definitely don't need the money no more.
Sylvester Stallone does the ultimate fake out, spoiler, where he's supposed to die in the beginning, but in the end, I was alive. It was just part of the plan. I'm like, first of all, it's not like I was tricked or duped, but I'm just like, Sylvester Stallone is like the biggest ego of all time, where he's not going to die in a movie, even if it's his franchise. So
Because he
we all
definitely,
should,
when
yeah,
I did Creed and I got sick, they
yeah.
wanted me to die.
He wanted to come back for this one. He's like, I don't know why I'm not in Creed 3. I think I should be in it. But like, what do you mean? They gave you your ending, dipshit. Like, they gave you the best ending they could ever give you, unless you died in the ring like Mickey.
When I was trying to do this movie, it was called Rocky Goes to Space, but MGM didn't let me do it.
But it does have a redeemable scene where Iko Uwe from the Raid fights Jason Statham. That's the only highlight of the movie, is that they have a really good fight scene because Iko Uwe is supposed to be the villain. And Tony Jaa's also in this movie, and they misuse Tony Jaa. Like, Tony Jaa and Iko Uwe don't have a fight scene. And I'm like, what are you doing here? It was just, again, another thing that, like, I see your concepts. And Stallone didn't direct this. It was the guy who did the John Cena, Jackie Chan Hidden Strike movie. He directed this.
Yeah, the
And
money launderer.
he's got a fascination with these oil tankers in the Middle East. Like, something's going on with this guy.
No, he's telling you what's going on.
I mean, he's a former
We about to get that.
stuntman.
Oh.
Because he famously directed the Need for Speed movie prior to these two. But yeah, when I watched this and you were mad at me for watching, I'm like, no, I gotta see this Jacob Scipio guy. I gotta see if he's gonna be like the next action star going forward, because he has a presence in a way. But seeing him play young Antonio Banderas ish, I'm like, oh, this is kind of just. I wish you kind of were like the guy at Bad Boys more than this version.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like I told you, it was the acting Olympics between 50 Cent, Randy Couture, Megan Fox, and Andy Garcia, who is a great actor, shows up and he tries to do his Andy Garcia thing. But at the end, he turns it up where he starts being like Michael Keaton and you want to get nuts? Come on. Like, that's what happens. So it's just.
Doesn't he look like Dracula?
Andy Garcia?
Yeah, he looked like if they ever made Interview with a Vampire, he could be Dracula.
Well, one, they did remake Interview with Vampires, a TV show on AMC.
Where the fuck was I?
But second of all, Andy Garcia was the original Vin Diesel of like, What race is this guy? Is he Hispanic or is he Italian? What's going on here? Because in The Godfather, he's Italian. In Untouchables, Sean Connery says some racial shit about him being a Mexican man. So it's like, what's Andy Garcia? I can't say it.
Sean, what do you say? Put in the chat.
But not in real life. I mean, the character he was playing.
I know. I need somebody to quote it.
Basically, it's like, I don't want one of them on my crew. Like, you can't trust them.
You can't trust them. They work at the Home Depot.
But
you can't give them a good slapping.
But what was the movie you just brought up? Oh, Borderlands. Yeah. So like,
this is gonna be a 2-minute conversation here, but
because I think,
did you see it?
Well, no, because Bad Boys is Sony,
nobody saw it,
and Borderlands is also Sony, and apparently today it made 13 million, and its budget was 105 million or something like that. And famously, this
when
movie,
they shot that 2016.
No, it didn't go back that far, but they've been shooting it for a long time. But the only reason it didn't go back that far is because the little girl in it is the little girl in Barbie. So it's like they were shooting it within the last 4 years because that girl has kind of remained the same age, the Ariana Greenblatt. Mm-hmm. And it also was it was directed originally by Eli Roth. He abandoned it because it wasn't going his way, and he went on to make Thanksgiving, which I watched earlier this year. And Tim Miller, who did the first Deadpool, he came in to oversee reshoots. But the crazy thing about this is the guy who wrote this script is the guy who's the showrunner for The Last of Us. And the story was he wrote a great script, and Eli Roth fucked it up. So he had his name removed from the writing credits. So that's Borderlands. And you and I, were you a fan of the game? Or
yeah, I had the first one, the second one. I didn't play the last two. Just because it's only so much you can do. Yeah, I got over 100 guns.
Yeah.
On the next mission. I'm cool.
I'm only saying that because I saw my brother play the first. And it was just something, and I kind of played it a little bit with him sometimes, but it was just something that never really interested me. I'm like, is there even that much here for a movie when the movie was announced? I'm like, aren't you just killing aliens on a planet? And you can see like there wasn't that much there for it because they basically just tried to do Guardians of the Galaxy with Borderlands, the name. Like Kate Blanchett was playing Star-Lord. Florian Munter was playing like the Drax. I get, or maybe he's even kind of Groot, and the little girl, like I said, Ariana Greenblatt was playing Rocket Raccoon. Like it was just copying, like doing the Xeroxing of Guardians of the Galaxy, but with Borderlands attached to it. And Sony had Bad Boys as a hit, and this as a flop. So they're in shaky territory. Oh, Banks is getting back. Okay. So what I was just saying is that Sony had Bad Boys as a hit, Borderlands as a flop. And then this week, the new trailer to Kraven the Hunter dropped, and they made a good trailer because that trailer's like, here's what this movie's about. Badass action. What's the plot? Plot doesn't matter. Don't give a fuck about the plot. Don't give a fuck about the acting. Watch this cool action in it. And I'm like, okay, this might be the best movie out of the Spider-Man spinoffs, but that's not hard when it's Madam Web,
right?
Morbius, and the Venom movies. So, I mean, I've listened to 2 different podcasts talk about Madam Web, and they're just like, how did they release this movie? No, like the movie podcast, I listened the Big Picture.
No,
and
what movie did they talk about?
Madam Web.
What's that?
The Spider-Woman movie that came out this year with Sydney Sweeney, Dakota Johnson. Come on, don't play dumb now.
I don't recall. They don't either. But she been going on her whole tirade. I think.
Well, that's her.
That's
her thing.
Women get mad. Well, why women get mad? I think it was just people just didn't want to see it because of women empowerment. No, bitch. Excuse my language. No, bruh. Excuse my language. Nobody just don't want to see this shit.
They would have wanted to see it if you had given them the women in costumes like they wanted. And I don't like the trailer has like, oh shit, that's that version of Spider-Woman. That version, like, yeah, that's what we want to see. And everyone's like, those are 3 seconds of the movie. Like Sydney Sweeney doesn't get a fight. Isabella Merced doesn't get a fight. No one gets to fight. It's just them on the run. And like, and as like I said, the movie podcast is like, it's a prequel to a prequel. So how does that make sense? But
Right,
Craven
because
the
it's
Hunter,
like I'm about
yeah,
to get real nerdy. Well, because how are you going to do a prequel to this movie? Because how does it tie into, Spider-Man, and then in this Sony universe, how does that work out?
they were trying to say that Emma Roberts is pregnant with Tom Holland, and that Adam Scott was his Uncle Ben, and Adam Scott was gonna go on to meet Marissa Tomei. Like that's how this movie was set up, and I'm like,
Man, what?
that no, that's supposedly the plot of Madam Web, and the point of it was that Emma Roberts is supposed to be the mom of Peter Parker because she's a Parker who's pregnant, and Ben's her brother. And Ben says at some point in the movie, like, I've met someone. Yeah. Like
We don't give a fuck about none of that, shorty. All we want this is Sony. If you ever hear this is what we want. We don't want no punk out. Craven the Hunter, he fired. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to see Aaron Taylor Johnson or Aaron Carter, whoever the fuck his name is. I don't want to
Aaron
see
Rodgers, Aaron Carter, Aaron Hernandez.
yeah,
I don't care.
I don't want to see Kick Ass play Craven the Hunter. Dog, this all we want. Listen to me well, Sony. Listen, I'm put my punk ass beat up teeth to the screen. That's how serious I am. Look,
Right.
I feel like I'm Joker in the Dark Knight, and I'm going to give it to him. But no,
When he gets a post like,
right.
when he has like,
People will die. I'm going to give it to him.
Yeah.
Like, this what you need to do.
Wait, you gotta, like you just.
I had a wife.
What was I just watching? Oh, the Bikeriders. We'll talk about that at the end of the episode. Well, that's how we'll end the episode. No, I want to.
Let's go right now.
No, I want to finish this Sony point because Kiki had to ask me, who is Craven the Hunter? She legit was like, who is Craven the Hunter? And I'm like, he's a villain in a Spider-Man movie. I mean, a villain in the Spider-Man comics. So they made a movie with him in it and Spider-Man about it. She's like, oh, so it's a flop. And I'm like, ding, ding, ding. Correctamundo, as Samuel Jackson says in Pulp Fiction. But like you're saying, like and this has been the point, X and Van talk about this, anyone who has a podcast and follow comics talks about, like, we don't need the Spider-Man villains in their own movies. We watched Morbius with Van because it was the only way I was going to watch Morbius. And I'm like, I can't believe they spent actual money to be like, here's what a movie should be. Granted, at the same time, they're spending money on Spider-Verse, but it takes them 18 days to make a scene for Spider-Verse. So, like,
dude, they said we're not getting fucking Beyond the Spider-Verse to 2 or 3 years now. The world gonna end, bucko.
But still, and Tom Holland is not coming back until he gets a bag, like Robert Downey Jr. gets a bag. So who knows? So Sony's plan, since Madam Web flopped and Craven is gonna flop, even though it looks decent, it probably isn't because it's, like you said, Aaron Taylor Johnson, who's an okay actor, but it's Russell Crowe in his I don't give a fuck era. So he's doing his Russian accent, being like, my son, you are the hunter you promised to be. My son. Like,
they don't even talk about his. They don't even talk about his dad in the comics. That's bullshit.
But then they have Alessandro Navarro play the Rhino, and that effects looks kind of interesting. We're like,
and then them effects look like goddamn PS2. If you're going to talk about graphics, that look like the ultimate Spider-Man.
No, but I mean, like, it's interesting. Like, he's a human that's able to transform into a rhino, compared to Paul Giamatti being like, it's a transformer rhino. Get it, my friend? Get it? Like, that. This is a better version than that. But, and I think what's the fucking I think the character of this is Calypso or something like that. That Ariana DeBose is playing. Oscar and Ariana DeBose, but still, when we talk about movies and Hollywood, it's from the consumer and the fan perspective, and the people who again, if I'm watching Expendables 4, that means I'm watching a lot of movies. So, and if I'm not watching Morbius unless it's against my own will because you two assholes are like, let's watch Morbius, it'll be good for content. I'm like, all right, but
I try to forget we did that shit.
But I skipped Venom 2 because I saw the first Venom. I'm gonna skip
Great movie.
Venom. I'm gonna
Venom
all right.
1 and 2, great movies.
That leads to the Bikeriders.
Don't fucking start because we had this discussion years ago. Great movies. No. Let's move on.
If I don't want to see Tom Hardy try to act in a movie that doesn't respect him, because Tom Hardy's like, see, if I'm going to be acting in a Venom movie,
that's actually a pretty good impression.
I'm going to do what I want, okay? And then the Bikeriders is like, it's your club, kid. It's your club. You can like the amount of accents in the Bikeriders. I'm just so the Bikeriders. It was basically Jeff Nichols' Goodfellas, and I'm not like, oh, that's blasphemous, blah blah blah. Like, no, it's a good version of like, oh, I could see the comparison. Like, I want to make a movie that's over a decade or so, and about like the criminal element. You know, like it's not gangsters. It's how did these biker clubs start? And at first they started wholesome, which is like, yeah, that would make sense. And then it got darker and darker. But the movie itself is full of these Chicago accents, free from, oh, I'm from Chicago. You know about me. I'm from, when I ride the bike down there, the bears, you know, they call me cockroach because, you know, I eat bugs and shit. You know, I'm,
that's crazy. Like, I thought it was a Boston accent the whole time.
Like, that's how, and the girl, people made fun of the actress Jodie Comer's accent, be like, oh, you know, I was dating him and he was a good looking guy and I was just too attracted to him. You know, I couldn't stop dating him. But the movie gets annoying when it's like, and this is when you tell a story over time where it's two things. She wants him to quit the club and Tom Hardy wants him to take over the club. And after every 50 minutes, the same scene happens. I want you to quit the club. I want you to take the club. And it's all for Austin Butler. And everyone blew smoke up Austin Butler's ass for Elvis. In this movie, he's just doing, is this what you want me to do? I don't want to do that. I'm like, are you trying to be? Yeah, like he wants to do that James Dean look. But then, yeah, talk like he's Dirty Harry-ish. But I didn't think it was a bad movie. The thing I would compare it to would be Maestro, which is like, wow, this is a well-made movie. And there was some acting going on. But I was also just not impressed by it because I'm like, I'm getting kind of bored of you being like the same beats every 10, 15 minutes over and like the club, and it has good callbacks because again, it's able to tell a story well with the whole point of like the young kid sees them, then wants to start his own club, and then that rears its head in a way that like, see, that's good storytelling, that's good writing. And this is obviously based on a true story, and it does have good performances, but it also has performances where it's like, oh, you had this actor and you wanted to give them too much screen time because they actually showed up for this to set for this movie when they didn't have to. So it's kind of bogged down by that. But literally, Tom Hardy just wants to be like, these new guys, and I don't know what to do. And it's all for Austin Butler, who didn't impress me. And yeah, it's just, it was a baffling movie to watch in terms of like,
it's shuffle. That's all the movie I got. It's like, oh, dialogue, more dialogue, and I like dialogue, but it has to lead.
Oh yeah,
somewhere.
It's just, not
like David's just saying. It's talking.
It's not like I needed gunfights or shootouts. Like when he has the chase through the downtown and then like his bike died. Like that's a really good sequence. I'm like, and that it's funny because he's like shit, and then he has to, and they're like, 18 traffic tickets. He's going to be going to court for a couple days. It's just like that. And I'm like trying not to laugh because it's like, that's how everyone talks in this movie. You're like, and then Tom, we're like, so how many? What am I going to do about that? What am I going to do about you? You know, it's him trying to be Marlon Brando because he literally watches Marlon Brando. No. He's literally watching Marlon Brando in
Apocalypse Now.
No, not what Tom Hardy is, but in the movie, his character was watching him in the God, not the isn't the Defiant one? I think it is when he plays the biker. And he's like, yeah, I want to start a bike club, you know, bike club. We got a bike club, yeah, like we got. I'm talking over here. It's a little bit like that. Like, what you want to do that for? You know, it's just
in the midst of the conversation, everybody, they just more so. It's like they're trying to create confliction about starting a fucking bike club, and they don't even explain. It's not even get to the point where it's about to get violent. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna start a bike club. He's like, what you mean when to start a bike club? I want to start a bike club. You know, that sound. He basically said it sound like fun, you know. But then it's like he got to do the whole, I'm walking here thing, like Davis is saying, like, I want to do what I want to do.
It's funny how the way the story ends, where like the gang got more violent, but the whole point is like they were non-violent. Austin Butler was the violent one in the group, and he wants him to leave when like this guy's the shit stirrer. So that again, this is based off of real people in a way. So in the context of like the story I was telling, I'm like, this guy's complaining about his club going down the drain when it was just supposed to be like a hobby thing. And now drugs are involved and more violent than ever, blah, blah, blah. But the guy who's going to take it over, it's going to lead that same path just because he don't say shit and everyone likes to look at him because he's a handsome guy. That's not going to fix things. And he's like, people will listen to you. Like, no one listens to this guy. He doesn't fucking talk. Like, that's what pissed me off. It's like the character of Benny never talks. Except, I like riding my bike. That's what I do. I like riding my bike. And I'm like, if people are like Austin Butler, he's still our next great actor. I'm like, I'm sorry. He is not. Again, I was calling him a fraud the whole time.
He's a good actor.
No, I'm saying he's a good actor, but he's not our next great actor. Like everyone. Ooh. Hell no, I'm not watching Bella. Get that shit out of here. Like I saw a scene on Twitter.
Rome always do this shit at the last minute. He coming to clutch with some bullshit.
I saw a scene on Twitter and I was like, Cody Dre actually watches this shit. This is why he.
Of course. Look at him. What makes you think he would watch Bel Air? He got the fucking same hairstyle as the lead.
The character of Jazz literally tells Hillary, "You're a runner. You're a track star." Straight to her face, and I'm like, who the fuck wrote this shit?
The motherfuckers on Twitter.
Yeah, because the concept is Twitter. That's literally what it was, remember? It was guy was like, what if someone made the darker version of Fresh Prince? And I'm like, interesting.
No, I can't even joke no more. After season 2, I gave it up, wrong. Now All American, that's different. I'll never get that.
Okay, all right. Now we're getting out of here. Now we're just but
now you got the accent from the Bikeriders.
But yeah, no, I watched the bike, and it was just the accents were just too much to handle. But Tom Hardy,
they sound like your neighbors though.
But Tom Hardy talks the same way in every movie. He always has that whisper, like, "What do you want me to do?" You know, I'm just because again, Eddie Brock's that in Venom. Like Eddie Brock, he's like, Venom. I don't want you to come out, Venom. Oh no, yeah, like. You eating people. Like
essentially, he sound like the Joker. Yeah. That's the crazy thing about it.
Again, it is like I said, on a technical basis, it is a good movie. But it just beats you to death with the accents and the same beats over and over. Like, Benny, why aren't you quitting this club, Benny? We've been together a long time and you aren't quitting this club. And he's just like, I don't want to talk about it right now. No.
It's like it's a skit, and the thing is, it's
basically
not bad acting.
Basically,
it's not bad acting. It's just a bad director.
No, the guy's a good director. I think it's the thing when
because he just let them do the same thing.
Yeah,
over and over
it's bad. Yeah, but like I said, but you had those
respect them, but he just sounds like he doing his best Marlon Brando impersonation every single movie.
You're right because it's when you're a director who you don't want to tell your actors not to be actors, because that's what this movie is. Like, so this is what I like to call like acting the movie. That's what this is compared to like all the movies we've talked about before. Like again, like a lot of the acting in Bad Boys Ride or Die, even though it's an action movie, but still like the scene with Tiffany Haddish, it was like, what the fuck is this? Even though it has the great line where she was like, but Armando, you can hit me up anytime. And he was like, what the fuck? Like,
oh no, I would have been in that club. As soon as I came to the door and saw her, they pulling guns on me. I would have seen Tiffany Haddish. Oh, I would have been Braun Breaker in that moment.
yeah, like that, like the acting, like I'm saying in a lot of the stuff we watch. And I'm not saying like everything.
Oh shit, you heard me. I would have took those SWAT pants right off.
Because I keep being like, you're a snob. What's it called? I think Trucker said it a week or two ago. Like, I hate everything. No. I didn't hate the bike riders. I didn't hate the bike riders. Like, it entertained me for what it was, but it didn't blow me away as an art piece.
But that's what I told you. Like, when I saw it, I said,
yeah. And I was trying to think of like, oh, is this not his type of movie? Or then when I started watching, I'm like, I knew exactly what he meant. It was like, this is so well made. This is so entertaining, even though it's well made, but it's not great. And I'm like, that's kind of what I thought. Yeah.
Because you just let them, you could tell he just let them do the same thing. Okay, let's try another take of that. No, motherfucker, let's switch it up. Everybody got the same beat.
Boyd Holbrook gets to play he plays the guy from California. Like, and then I told him, man, like don't do that on my bike. And then fucking Norman Reedus shows up as the freaky looking biker. Like, I'm here to kill this guy. All right, that's what I'm here for. And I'm like, you're also supposed to be from California with your teeth like the backwoods? Like, what the fuck's going? Like, it's
Barstow, the high desert.
But it's just this thing. We're in this weird space in movies, and it's funny. I was going to try to fit it in, but I didn't have time to because I've been busy this weekend. But Furiosa is now on Max, so I'm going to be able to talk about that with you next week. But then Horizon is going to be on Max next Friday. So you can watch all 3 hours of Kevin Costner's passion project and be like, this is what this man threw away his marriage and bank account for?
For being a freak boy, yeah, I ain't watching that shit.
For Loving the West?
Alien movie.
I wanted to see Romulus, but I didn't, like I said, I have time this week.
Especially because I found out it's practical effects. Yeah, I'll be watching.
Yeah, and I just watched Prometheus and Covenant last weekend.
What's Prometheus?
The prequels, remember?
No, it's inside joke. I gotta see you.
Oh, okay.
Clip from like 12 years ago.
I enjoy them for what they are. Even though, again, I don't think they're great. I just think they're good movies. It's that thing like Ridley Scott was approaching his 70s when he was making the Prometheus, and he was almost exiting his 70s when he was making Covenant. Man, movies are just in an interesting place where we got Kraven the Hunter, and Brian Cox had to come out and say like Deadpool and Wolverine is hurting our business, our movie business. And I'm like, Brian Cox, you didn't need to say that when it was the obvious, okay? Like,
it just sounded like hate to me, but all right.
But I know what he's saying because that's what I was saying on the Podfook. So I was like, I'm mad that I enjoy this because I know that this isn't something that's good for the Hollywood business and good for the superhero business, because I'm literally texting you being like, 2 weeks later, I still hate this Doctor Doom shit. Like, I hate it. I hate that this is their plan.
I don't know what else to say because we still got fucking 3 years until this shit come out. Yeah,
two. It's 26 and then 27. Yeah.
Yeah, we still got 2 years left of this shit. Let's just make it to 2026. It's fucking 1,000 degrees. All right.
Do you want to talk? You want 2 minutes on that, real quick?
About it being hot?
Yeah, because I told you it's hot everywhere. It's not just where you are. Literally, the Earth. That's not the block's hot. The Earth is hot.
But you know what's crazy to me? It's not as bad as it once was. This is the weather report. That's how we end. But it's not as bad as it once was. Like last year, it was bad. So this year, it's not that bad.
No, I think it's worse now because you're complaining to me. You're complaining to me. Either you're in menopause. We're like, whoo, having hot flashes.
Girl, you see me right now.
Having hot flashes because you're literally like everywhere I go.
My titties.
You're like city to city. It's hotter than the last city. I'm like, it's hot in any city. The Earth is hot. It's like an Armageddon when it need to kill us. The planet is Armageddon. Like
That's usually how it works. An implosion.
But still, I had one more thing to add, but yeah, it was just that's all I've been doing was just watching movies and then seeing. Again, thinking about the Doctor Doom thing and just like they were so scared. I'm mad because if X is right, I'm not saying like because X is bullshit. I'm like if X was right about the whole contract thing of like they couldn't recast Kang. I'm still mad about that because I'm like that is some genius fucking lawyering because how do you get duped when you are the fucking Disney Corporation when you literally are like Ed Norton? Get the fuck out of here. Terror Tower, get the fuck out of here. Even though they weren't owned by Disney at that point, but still, fucking, how do you allow this relatively unknown actor to get one over on you?
Because that motherfucker really is Kang. You see him crying. Yeah. I'm like, this sucking psychopath is good.
I still wanted to see that story. I was interested in the Avengers had to fight different versions of this guy. That was interesting to me. I know everyone was like abandoned ship, the MCU song. I'm like, we're having stumbles. People forget like Thor: The Dark World. I don't know why I keep going back to my shit. Thor: The Dark World. It wasn't.
They sound like your neighbors. I'm telling you.
But that's it. Like Thor: The Dark World. It wasn't that good of a movie. It was the worst movie in the MCU until the 2021 slate, and then Doctor Strange was just an okay movie. Like the MCU had some like sevens, and you know they had some sevens in their scales. Not everything was a 9 out of 10, an 8.5 out of 10, or a 10 out of 10. They had some misses before, just because they had a lot more misses in a 2-year window because the output was larger than it ever was. Goes to show like, well, maybe we should dial it back, and that's what they're doing now, obviously. But as they're dialing back, they're also like, let's change direction. I didn't think the Kang story was flawed. I think just them trying to tell 3 different stories within the Kang story was flawed. But
it still might be hope. Maybe they just might go. I mean,
no, I think they're like.
Movie, but
I think the Doom thing is like Kang's dead, Doom's here. Ta-da! Like,
kind of need both, but it's a possibility.
I know you need, but the actor maybe can't be there.
He'd be like second. He could be second instead of first now. Instead of the Dynasty, just kind of like he's second fiddle. And there was those rumors they was trying to recast earlier this year.
Yeah, but if like I said, the X thing is right, where when I read the stuff about Jonathan Majors, there was nothing that would ever make you think about the recasting, because that was the whole point we were asking, is like, if he goes to jail, can they just recast the character? That seemed like that was never an option, but these are the people that were too stubborn, as I was saying, to recast T'Challa. And like you've been saying, like, this is someone who we're going to need in one movie in particular, being Secret Wars, and they refuse to recast the character. And whether they won't, maybe they'll think about recasting now because it'll be a variant and much easier to explain than.
And it's still early. Like, again, we let's just make it 2025.
Yeah.
So there's no telling what could happen. That's why it's like, nah, of course you can get your rants off this show. But no. Just like, with me, I'm just kind of like, let's see what happens. Because, again, that Robert Downey news threw me way the fuck off.
Yeah, and that's why I'm mad about it. It's because you're literally showing me you've lost faith. I haven't lost faith. You've lost faith in yourself. Because I'm still going to the theater. I'm giving you my money. Like,
or if the theaters are still around at that point, we could watch it online.
Yeah.
Camera it.
Well, you know what I mean? I'm still paying for Disney Plus. I'm still, like I said, I'm still a consumer for your product. Like, once Justice League dropped and I saw that in the theater, I'm like, DC will never get my fucking money again. And that wasn't until Matt Reeves' The Batman. But then, as we've been seeing, even Matt Reeves' The Batman Part 2 is like, that still might be my greatest call of all time if it happens,
It's looking like it too. And then they're not saying nothing about that.
But that writer strike, as you mentioned earlier, really fuck things up more than ever. You're saying let's just get to 2025, and every podcast I listen to that covers movies or TV says the same thing. Like that's been people who are in charge of the studios are saying like 2025. Our goal is 2025. That's when we'll be able to pick business back up because we've had stuff shooting throughout this year to make up for it for how bad 2024 was. But even then, I'm like, what else is on the slate that's that interesting? I mean. No, Sean, I've literally said this. I think the James Gunn thing was stupid because I kind of said this on the Pod of X, and this I will wrap up, is he's been busy making his Superman movie to care about what else should be happening. You can't be writer, director, and studio head. Like, that's why the Zack Snyder thing, it's the same thing, basically, where they're like, Zack Snyder is going to control what happens around his films, which is why Aquaman had two different armors and they try to play it off like it was some thing where it's like, no, James Wan's like, I don't want him to use that fucking shit. I got ideas too, you know? Like, but no, I don't think
he gets too focused on one thing, being James Gunn, and that's it.
Yeah.
He can't multitask.
And I sent you that tweet where it had his quotes of like, when I make a movie, I make sure the script is finished. I make sure we're on budget. I make sure this is happening. And I'm like, yeah, you know why? Because that's how movies should get made. So it's no surprise why his last 4 movies turned out really well, if that's his style. But I don't think he can fix it because you can't be the GM and the coach as we saw with Bill Belichick. He was too busy worrying about the players on the field, but then when as the GM, he didn't have the proper players to put on the field. And just because you can hire someone to direct Supergirl and hire someone to direct the Batman, the Brave and the Bold, why aren't those in development yet? Because you've been too focused on overseeing the stuff you're in charge of to care about the bigger picture. Granted, as much as Kevin Feige was like, we got 5 TV shows and 4 movies on the way, maybe we should slow down. He knew like, well, I got someone new in charge at Disney to tell me more. And Kevin Feige's like, I'm the Cartman thing. I'm doing the best I can. Like, so who knows? I mean, Hollywood's an interesting space. And I mean, we just like Dom Toretto at the end of Tokyo Drift. We got nothing but time. So.
Exactly. Let's just see how stuff play out, especially if the execs say in 2025, and that's all we could just do is take their word for it.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, because it didn't really end up because Romulus did make a lot of money. It apparently beat Deadpool to take the #1 spot. But now everyone is like, what? Go ahead.
They made 18 million opening day.
Yeah, but now because Prey did so well on Hulu, I really enjoyed that movie. People are like, now we need a new Alien versus Predator. Do you want a new Alien versus Predator?
No.
Did you like the original too?
So,
I've never seen them.
They were all right, but if you remake it, I understand why, because now both the franchises are up, and it's Fox, which is owned by Disney. So, I guess if they want to do that, but then, we in the era of universes. So now they would have to make a universe to make them collide. So,
yeah, which was, I mean, the way that Prey ended makes you think like, oh, they could just have a Predator show up in any timeline, and that'd be interesting. Like Medieval Night Predator would be interesting. But then I'm like, that's just the show Deadliest Warrior from Spike. If they did that, not saying that'd be dumb. I'm like, you're watching Pirates of the Caribbean. Predator versus the Pirates would be cool. But as I'm watching Alien Covenant, Aliens, Prometheus, I'm like, a lot of the Alien movies, except Aliens, are kind of the same premise because let's get a ship, let's get some people on it, let's have the xenomorph chase after them. So there's only so much you can do there. And then there's going to be the Alien TV show on FX Hulu that they're making, that they've been trying to make for years now. And apparently it's the precursor that sets everything up. It seems like it'll be just more about the corporation, the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. So we'll see. But like you're saying, if that's their plan, you can't call it the Alien universe because Predator's involved, but it's that weird universe of Predator and Alien where they exist. So it'll be interesting to see if they try to reinvent that in a way, because I know Van was saying that. I saw some few other people say that. I'm like, based on this being a success, and Prey was a Hulu success, that's probably what they're going to try to do now. And I even think the director Fede Alvarez is like, I want Dan Trachtenberg and I to get together and come up with the idea for Alien versus Predator. So
there you go. Anything to make them money in Hollywood. That's all I care about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's also like these guys want to make movies and they want to spend time on movies. Like Fede Alvarez, he had directed a movie since his Girl in the Spider's Web. Before that, he did Don't Breathe and the Evil Dead reboot. Like, if these guys are going to spend time making movies, they want to make good movies. So,
right. Can't be mad at it.
All right. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Just press the goddamn button.